Hi, welcome back. Today we are covering the 9th and final foundation necessary for you to live an optimal and integrated life. So the 1 through 8 foundations and then number 9, they're all cumulative. They're necessary in a particular order so that you can have a how-to guide of ordering your whole health. There's so much information out there and a lot of different healing modalities, but without these core key foundations, health foundations, it's really hard for those other modalities to begin working for you or even be effective. To recap the last 8, that all have clips that go with them, so go ahead and go back and look at those ones if any of them you have, that if you find that you need to strengthen any of those areas or you want to know the order that they actually go in. They're on my YouTube channel at Dana's Digest. They're also on my guides tab under my profile on Instagram, and they're on my feed. Lots of places to find them. Okay, to recap the last 8. The first one's proper hydration. The second one is adequate sleep. The third is circadian rhythm sequencing. The fourth is balanced micronutrient dense nutrition. So very important that you're consuming not just macros, but macros that are full of really helpful micros. The 5th foundation is movement, motion, and activity. The 6th foundation is rest, recovery, and recreation. The 7th foundation is soul care, which includes healthy mind and emotions. The 8th foundation is environmental toxin mitigation. So the goal of this cumulative experience is you're starting to work your health in a healing state from the inside out. And then the 9th foundation is high quality community and connections, and that's what we're going to be covering today. So to dive in to the high quality community and connections, you've probably heard the quote before that you become like the 5 people that you spend the most time around, and that is true. So I haven't talked about this much yet in the other foundations, but humans carry their own frequency, and I am reminded of that most when I remember how important high quality community and connections are. Because humans we're energetic beings, and we emit frequencies through our beliefs, our behavior, and the way that we project those out into the world, sometimes onto other people. So in my mind, and in my experience, what I've learned is that if you hang out with stuck people, you're going to stay stuck. That's a frequency. Stuckness is a frequency. It's a choice. If you spend time with people who are growth oriented and engaging the process, not just that they want to be growth oriented, but they're actually doing the steps to become the person that they're meant to be, then you are also going to grow. So just to kind of paint a picture for what I call stagnant or unhealthy community could look like or feel like. So you're feeling stuck, you're doing some of the do's, but you're not getting the results that you want. You could be surrounded by maybe some people that are influencing you in a way that you're not even realizing it. People who think nothing needs to change, people who minimize how you feel or they feel or how others are experiencing the world. So minimizers, if you're surrounded by minimizers. If you're surrounded by people who settle for justifications versus engaging honest conversation and feedback, or you're surrounded by people or I guess not one or the other, it's often a mix of all of these, who use labels and use statements to communicate, not owning their own experience. So those are all examples of what unhealthy community could look like. It can sound like you made me, you can't, it's your fault that I am the way that I am, you never will, it didn't work for me, so it won't work for you. Those are all language indicators that maybe the people or the person that you're spending time with is stuck or not interested in growth. Growth-minded community, growth-oriented community looks like people who are encouragers, and maybe they don't exactly know the way, but they believe that they can be curious to find a way. People who are willing to embrace the transformation process, even when it doesn't always turn out as anticipated. So they're willing to keep showing up to engage growth Whether it's reading books, listening to podcasts, getting into groups, finding coaching, they're searching, they're interested in journaling, they're doing the work to become who they are called to be. And also people who use I feel, I need to communicate how they experience others, themselves, the world. Those are all healthy indicators that you are in a space with people or a person who is growth oriented. Growth oriented can sound like, you can do this. I believe in you. You got this. It can also sound like, man, I am stumped about that, but let's figure out how to make this work. And it can also sound like a strong, you know what, I'm so thankful that you invited me to this, or you thought of me, but right now I need to say no, thank you. People who are growth oriented have a strong no because they're protecting what their priorities are. The other thing to remember about community and connections is that some people might need a lot of people around them in community and connection, and other people might just need a few. The key is that you are in relationship with people who you can trust to give you feedback, kind feedback, so that you can keep growing, because it's when the two are gathered together that a lot of the ahas come, 2 or more. So it can be 2, but it can be 10. Just make sure that it's high quality community and connections so that you are continuing your growth journey. A few qualities that I personally look for in my community and my close connections. So one is the willingness to take the time to do the work of growth, because it does take time to increase your self-awareness. It does take time to learn about what matters to you and what doesn't matter to you, what you believe and how you behave, and then rewiring some of that when you come into awareness that you're not behaving what you believe. And so it's really, and it takes work and energy, it takes courage and curiosity. Very important that those people in my life are willing to do that. Also important to me that people are kind and gracious. We can disagree. We don't have to see eye to eye. We can see eye to eye, but the idea is that we engage in a way that builds each other up versus tears each other down. The other part that's really important in community, my community and connections, is that people come to my table with their own learning contributions and revelations. So I don't want to be doing more work than the people around me, so that we can be moving together and they're moving at a similar pace that I am, or I'm moving at a similar pace that they are. So this is another pretty big foundation, but it's actually right in there with soul care, and it can be clustered with some of the other foundations. Very important to remember that humans are energetic beings, and we are regularly communicating with each other, even non-verbally, through behavior and body language, about what we believe to be true, and we are influenced by those who are around us. So make sure you're surrounding yourself with people who believe in you, who are encouraging you to grow, and who are there to do the work with you. Any thoughts on healthy community and connections? Drop it in the comments below. This wraps up the 9 foundations necessary, key for optimal health and integration. Integrating your optimal health, you can say it many ways. The key is that you live your best life when you are able to bring these 9 key foundations in and practice them regularly. Have a great day.